Good evening. It's time to start the September 7th Chelmsford Conservation Commission meeting. Thank you all for joining us here. Quick note, I'm subbing for Chris Garahan, who is the chair. Chris is not able to join us tonight, so bear with me tonight a little bit as we make our way through this. First thing on the agenda is we have I want to remind everybody the meeting is being recorded, so just keep that in mind. We have open session, citizens' concerns. Anybody have something they want to bring up in the open session? Yes, we have someone here. Would you please come to the microphone and state your name and...
My name is Linda Barrington. I live at 27 6th Avenue in North Chelmsford. And I was just curious about the status of Freeman Lake and if that is under the jurisdiction of the Conservation Commission, and if there's any plans to make that swimmable again, or just curious.
So I'm not entirely sure how much it's in our jurisdiction. I know we did get an email from Paul Cohen today about some plans to do some herbicide treatment of that, and I think I was planning to bring that up later in the meeting. So there is activity being done, actions being taken. I believe it's going to get on town meeting this fall to fund that and to make that happen. Currently that's the direction we're going.
Okay. I didn't know if you needed any help with that or any more
Want to elaborate on it
volunteers.
so she doesn't have to hang around until the end of the meeting?
That's about as far as I know, other than, I mean, we just got an email from Paul like 2 hours ago that, there's an herbicide.
Some of the residents around Freeman Lake have contacted the town manager. He has indicated that he is going to talk to a consulting firm, and it will be the same firm that does the annual mitigation out at Hart Pond.
Okay.
I can't recall their name, but the Hart Pond Association has used them for maybe 6 or 7 years, and they had an initial shock treatment for Hart Pond 7 years ago, and then they have an annual program to keep the weeds down at Hart Pond that's funded by the residents through a Hart Pond Association.
Okay.
And I understand there is not a Freeman Lake Association. And also the town. I don't know how they split the funding, but the town pays a piece of it, and the Hart Pond Association does as well. I don't know what the language is going to say in the town warrant. It will be requesting an amount of money. I do know that the discussions with the consulting firm, they have been out at Freeman Lake. I think they've made an initial assessment. I don't know what it is. So the town manager is planning to move ahead on it. One of the benefits that could perhaps come out of this, and since you're here, you're showing an interest, is
Right.
it would be really good if there could be some kind of a Freeman Lake Homeowners Association that could work with the authorities to keep that down. Every year, Freeman Lake has a bit of a problem. This year was worse than most because of the heat in June and the rain in July, and also the fact that every year the homeowners put down chemical fertilizer, a lot of them do, on their lawn, and a lot of the properties abut Freeman Lake, and if the water is really saturated, you're going to get a lot of leaching of fertilizer into the lake, which will encourage the weeds to grow. So
I didn't know if there was any, can there be an easement or something of all of the people in the lake watershed so that they can't use those kinds of fertilizers on their lawn, or?
No.
Okay.
What we can do when we get a new application from someone who is abutting Freeman Lake or close to it, we can ask and maybe even require that they not use chemical fertilizers, that if they're going to use fertilizer, we'd like them to use organic. But it's something that everyone around Freeman Lake's going to have to work at. It's going to be one of those things where everybody has to help, because if they don't, it probably won't. If you just throw money at it,
Right.
it may be a waste.
But
I'm
if
sorry.
everybody's working together,
And that's easier said than done.
Yep.
okay.
That's all I have. I'm sorry, Carl.
Nope, thank you, Dave. Anything else?
So then the next thing is come to the town meeting then, or?
Yeah, I mean, watch for what I think the motion, the article will most likely be for money to fund this.
Right.
The warrant will be posted. You'll be able to read it off on the town's website, so you can find which article is. I understand there may be 30 different warrant articles this
Oh,
fall,
my.
so
Okay.
you want to find out where it is, because it might go over one night,
Okay.
and just read the language.
And right now, it's probably not written, but there's probably a placeholder saying something like
Yep.
placeholder for Freeman Lake funding for, at this moment, that's probably, if it's there, that's what it might say. It wouldn't have specifics.
Okay, thank you very much.
So there is
Appreciate your
action
time.
happening. Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, could I ask her a question? You live
Sure.
on 6th Avenue?
I do, yeah,
At the foot of 6th Avenue, what's that land area look like these days?
The people in the corner mow it,
Uh-huh.
and, it's used for people to put boats in or fish from,
Is it kept
that kind of thing.
relatively?
Yeah, it's pretty
clean?
good. Yes.
It's not it's, because we've had a few calls saying it's a total mess.
Oh, no, huh. Well, I walk by that almost every day, and,
That's the only site, other than Varney Playground, around Freeman Lake where the Conservation Commission allows citizens to use that to put their boats into the lake.
right.
So we want to make sure that they don't abuse that privilege.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks for your question. Anything else? Any other concerns, questions? Okay. Let's go to the regulatory hearings. The first notice is for a request for determination for 5 Noble Road. Dave,
Yeah.
will you read the notice,
Got the
please?
legal notice here. Under the provisions of the Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act, Mass General Laws 131, Section 40, and the Chelmsford Wetland Bylaw, Chapter 187, the Chelmsford Conservation Commission will conduct a public hearing at the town offices, 50 Billerica Road, Chelmsford, on Tuesday, September 7th, 2021, at 7 p.m. for a request for determination of applicability filed by Timothy Chase Jr. The applicant wishes to construct an addition on the side of an existing dwelling and locate a new shed at 5 Noble Drive. Work will take place within 100 feet of a wetland. Carl Bischoff, Vice Chairman, Conservation Commission.
Thank you, Dave. Are you the applicant?
Yes,
Can you please state your name
Timothy Chase,
and your address?
5 Noble Drive.
Okay.
I know you said road, I don't know if they have it. that-
It says road, it is drive?
Drive,
Okay.
yes.
You get that? 5 Noble Drive, okay. And do you want to describe what the work is that you're doing?
It's gonna be an in-law for my elderly parents. And I think she said where I was on, under an acre. I think it's 50 feet. And I did have some paperwork, but I think, the garage is gonna become the common area, mudroom breezeway to the house, then the in-law, and that's why I asked for the shed also.
What, I haven't looked at it. What's the water that's right near there? Is it-
It's actually not a named stream, it's, but I have the easement on the opposite side of my house, which is the drain pipe from the street. Why I couldn't do that side either.
I see. Conservation Commission members, do you have questions? Dave, do you want to start?
Yeah, the proposed addition is where a garage is now. Is that correct or not?
So, looking at that, if you look at the,
This is what we have.
yes, that's what I have in front of me. The, kind of the circle where the concrete pad is.
Yeah,
My garage is sitting right there beside the house.
okay.
So that would be the breezeway mudroom, and then the addition would be to the right of that.
What, those distances, 164, 160, oh, those are elevations. Where are the wetlands relative to your,
They're down the back.
down by the swale?
Yes,
Is the swale, in fact, creating the wetlands? That's taking runoff from the neighborhood
yes.
in that swale? Okay.
I think it was put in, the house was 1964.
It was
so I
probably
think
built
that
at the same time the house was
the
put in, right?
Contractor, yes.
And what's the, I can't, what's the distance from the proposed shed to the
So
swale?
the 50-foot, it would be,
Oh, there, the 50-foot is about the 162-foot elevation,
Right.
correct?
yeah, so the
Okay,
shed
so-
would be at,
Right. So it's outside of the 50 feet. Okay,
Yes.
very good. When was the house built?
1964.
Okay. The addition gonna have a full foundation? Or just? or don't-
That right now is up in the air. I do have my paperwork in for October 7th meeting for the special permits. 'cause
Well,
it's-
if you're gonna excavate, are you gonna use the material on your site, or are you gonna take it off-site?
I believe probably take it off-site.
Yeah, so you don't see any need for it on your site?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Not at all.
And access to the addition will be, you're gonna store material in the front yard? That looks like where you would do it, correct? Your construction material, your trucks and stuff
Yeah,
while you're
there's
building
plenty
the
of room in
addition?
the front.
Okay. That's all I had, Carl.
Okay. Bill?
Dave asked all the questions, so I'm good.
Mark?
Do we still hand out the order of, what we have for standard order conditions? Is that lost with Katie?
No, the order of conditions goes with the notice of intent.
It'll still get-
It won't go with this is a request for determination.
Oh, yeah, right, okay. No, I'm all set.
John?
Yeah, I'm all set.
Okay, I'm good. This looks good. This looks good. So, you have any other questions for us? Any,
No, I just,
okay. Can we get a motion then for
This is a,
RDA? For,
Audience comments.
I just want to get the right language of the vote.
Before you do that, Dave, do we have any questions, any comments from the audience, from the public? Nope.
I move that we issue a request for determination of applicability on 5 Noble Drive.
Any second?
Second.
Bill?
Is there supposed to be like a -3 determination or anything like that?
Yeah, I didn't bring my book. It's -3.
Okay.
Has anyone got any list of the bylaws here? Let me look at it. While you're doing that, I'll look it up.
But that's the motion. and-
Second.
And I heard a second from Bill. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Nope. Passes unanimous. We will have a form at some point. We're trying to
I
figure
have
out.
the forms for you guys to sign.
So
and-
we'll have it
Yeah.
probably tonight or
Take them
tomorrow,
out
you know, the next couple of days.
Okay.
If you contact the Conservation Office, either Colleen or.
yeah, I have Colleen. I've been in there plenty.
Okay, okay. Within the next couple of days, she should have what you need,
Okay,
okay?
all right.
Thank you very much.
Am I all set?
I think you're all set, Dave.
Okay, thank you.
Good luck.
Want to sign as we go, or just sign them all at once?
We'll sign at the end.
Okay, cool.
That work?
Sure. Makes sense.
Thank you.
All right,
We're
thank
good.
you.
Thank you, sir.
That would be a -3, Dave, right?
I think it is. I just want to get the exact
Right.
language.
Okay, the next order of business is also a request for determination at 50 Fifth Lane.
30.
I'm sorry, 30 Fifth Lane. And Dave, do you have a notice to read?
I can only do one thing at a time.
I know, I'm trying to slow down here.
We're on Carl time now.
Chris was the taskmaster. Well,
See what that got him.
yeah. They're a well-oiled machine when Chris is here.
Under the provisions of the Massachusetts Wetland Protection Act, Mass General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, and the Chelmsford Wetland Bylaw, Chapter 187, the Chelmsford Conservation Commission will conduct a public meeting at the town offices, 50 Billerica Road, Chelmsford, on Tuesday, September 7th, at 2021, at 7 p.m. for a request for determination of applicability filed by Finbar McGrath. The applicant wishes to replace existing ground-level deck at 35th Lane. Work will take place within 100 feet of the wetlands. Submitted by Carl Bischoff, Chair.
Thank you. And can you please state your name?
My name is Finbar McGrath.
Thank you. Okay. And can you describe the work that's being done on the property?
Yeah, so I bought the house, new construction in 2008, and there was a ground level deck that was outside the back of the house, but it was over the previous concrete pad, and the builder put in gravel between the joists and the beams, so everything is rotted through at that level. So I basically want to replace it on the existing footprint, but I want to bring it up 6.5 inches, so it has clearance underneath for dry out and so on. And the problem is the existing patio is 80, or the original patio, concrete patio, is 80% complete, so I don't have to touch the soil on that. But on the part where it's not complete, you know, where the deck was actually on soil, I want to put footers in to raise it up, and that's why I'm here.
So is this, I'm a little confused. I might have missed something. Is this it says here proposed dwelling, but what I'm hearing you say is you're raising up what's already there?
Right. So
So it's not a new building, you're just reinforcing what's the foundation that's there?
yeah, I mean, I'm just literally replacing the existing deck with,
Oh,
you know,
okay.
from
Okay.
Nothing to do with the house.
nothing to do with the house. No.
They had some pictures. Do you guys want to look at the pictures?
Yeah. So the drawing you have is what I got from the folks downstairs. Like that was that was what was in the file. So it's the only plan I have.
Oh, I see.
but-
2008 is the date on
Yeah.
here. It's the first thing I should look at. Okay, I see. So you're just trying to reinforce what you've got?
Yes.
I don't know
Yeah, I
if
see.
that's
Oh, okay,
helpful.
that's actually right there. That kind of says a lot right there.
Yeah. Right.
One of my jobs.
Right.
Yeah.
There's only one set of them, so you didn't all get them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't write that. I had to, picture it, right? But,
Yeah,
but you,
picture's worth 1,000 words or something like that?
so you can see in the pictures then where the slab predates the existing house, right? And I think it might
And
have been.
so, looking at this, you're right on the pond. You're,
Right,
looks
exactly,
like
yeah.
you're, I don't know, I'm looking for a number here, but you're pretty close.
Yeah, but the flat area where that deck is ends about 25 feet from the pond, and then it runs down.
Okay. So, Dave, do you want to start with some questions?
No.
No.
You go to Billy first.
All right.
How many piers do you have to put in?
7,
7 piers?
yeah, because of the shape I'm trying to put in there.
Right, right. And then, in that area, you're just putting stone? You're just putting stone, you're doing the piers in the stone? You're gonna pour
Yeah,
concrete,
yes, yeah.
you're gonna pour
yeah.
a concrete pad?
I'm gonna do the footings, and then the concrete anchors into the footings,
Yeah.
and then up to the framing. So
But the rest of it's just gonna put stone in under?
yes,
the whole
yeah,
thing?
gravel
Okay.
or stone. Yeah, yeah.
So just the 7 piers is all really you're doing? It's gonna be the same size deck?
Yes.
Yeah. No, no, I think that's pretty simple. I'm
Mark?
good.
No, it's all handwork. You're not gonna bring a machine in or anything, right?
No, no.
No, I got nothing.
John?
No, Mark just asked the question,
Yep, if it's handwork.
you know,
yeah.
handwork or mini work.
Right. I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
myself and my kids. Right?
yeah, it's seven
My
big
kids
foots
mostly.
or whatever, a techno post, you know.
Is
It's on it too.
Dave?
is your application after the fact? Have you in fact started work?
Not on that site. No, no. I mean,
This is something else?
that's the original. Yeah, that's the deck that.
Okay, and how about
I've-
that picture that Mr. Swenson has?
That last one?
You're not doing any work right now?
No.
Okay.
No, this,
John?
like, other than, you know, pulling up some of these planks to see how
Yeah.
badly rotted it was, right? But it is gone all the way through.
How bad is it? It's pretty bad.
It's gone.
It's pretty bad.
I mean, I grew up in houses in Ireland that were 200 years old. I've never seen rot like this.
Yeah.
You know, it's unbelievable. I mean,
Dave, anything else?
That's all I had.
John, you were okay, right? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm okay. Yeah, no, this is, Mark asked the appropriate question with the,
Any questions from the public? Oh, okay. Do we have a motion
I
here?
move that we issue a -3 on this request for determination on, what's the,
35th Lane.
35th Lane.
Second?
Second.
Mark seconds. Dave moved. Mark seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? No. Unanimous.
thank you.
You're good to go. We will, as you may have heard in the last one, we'll try to have our paperwork for you in the next few days. Colleen in the,
Take all that junk from you.
thank you. Colleen in the Conservation Office will be able to
All right,
help you if you contact her to find out if it's ready.
excellent.
Okay,
Thank
thanks
you,
very
gentlemen.
much. We have one more to go. Kidder Road. Which, Dave, are you ready with the notice? This one is
Yep.
for also a request for determination, 12 Kidder Road. Do you have a
I'm all
notice?
set. Under the provisions of the Massachusetts Wetland Protection Act, Mass General Laws, Chapter 131, Section.
Was
Who was that?
down there.
Oh, no. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, that was me.
Sounds like
Is it
squirrels.
the calendar? It is you.
Under the provisions of the Massachusetts Wetland Protection Act, Mass General Laws 131, Section 40, and the Chelmsford Wetland Bylaw, Chapter 187, the Chelmsford Conservation Commission will conduct a public meeting at the town offices of 50 Billerica Road, Chelmsford, on Tuesday, September 7th, 2021, at 7 p.m. for a request for determination of applicability filed by Loop Real Estate Corp. The applicant wishes to construct a new parking area with associated utilities in a new commercial building at 12 Kidder Road. Work will take place within 100 feet of the wetlands. Submitted by Carl Bischoff, Vice Chairman.
Can you please state your name and,
Yes, good evening. I'm John Bikini, and I own Loop Real Estate, which is 12 Kidder Road. The COVID thing slowed us down quite a bit, as it did for an awful lot of people. However, we've been in court with a lot line dispute with a neighbor, and hopefully that's going to get resolved in the near future. And we realized that we finally got our building permit from the building department, and we noticed that the conservation approval expired. And here I am.
so this drawing here, I'm looking at the drawing here, it's 2016, so this is when you first started the project, or give or take,
Roughly.
in that time frame?
That is correct.
Has anything changed on this design from that time
No, it has
till
not.
now?
Nothing.
Okay. And so, not having looked at this before, it looks like the water, wetland is in the top right. And we look,
That was created when they were doing 495.
that's a while ago. So, do you guys remember this one in particular? I wasn't here then.
I don't even remember, what did we give you before, do you remember?
Quite honestly,
Was it a notice of intent, or was it a request for determination? Do you,
it was an approval.
an
to-
approval, but it could be approved under either one, but that's,
Truthfully, I just don't,
Okay,
I
all
don't
right.
remember.
no,
It's been a while.
it was probably a request for determination, since that's what it is now.
So why don't we go around, Bill, why don't we start with you again?
So it's the same project you?
Yes, it is.
came
Nothing has
before.
changed.
Nothing's changed, it's just that it ran out.
That
This
is
is out
correct.
by Chamberlain? Road?
Yes.
Okay. That's right, there was a lot of property issues around there over the years, right?
It's been a challenge.
Yeah. I remember the issues, I don't remember the building.
Yeah.
I really don't remember the project, but if we approved it, you're just back here because it ran out.
Correct.
So, I'm fine.
Can you refresh my memory? This building is, I'm trying to see, where's the 100-foot buffer zone? Is that the green dash on
The
the?
green line, I think.
Yeah.
Is that the green line?
Yeah.
So it's the parking, it's a portion of the parking lot that is within our jurisdiction. The
Yes.
building is not within our
That is
jurisdiction.
correct.
And that's probably why it was a request for determination as opposed to a notice of intent. Is the site fairly level?
Yes.
So when you excavate to put in parking, you're not moving a lot of stuff around?
Very little.
Okay.
Very little.
And are there, I can't see, are there catch basins on the parking?
Yes, there are.
And they go to there's a swale in the back, there's a couple of retention
Yep.
on the side.
Yep.
And I take it do you know if our engineering department signed off
Yes,
on
they
this the
have.
first time?
Everybody has signed off.
Mr. Chairman, that's all I had.
Okay. Mark?
The only thing that's changed since you first, with approval, was it's probably a low-quality wetlands along the highway there, but you're not supposed to dump snow within 100 feet of that.
We-
Try to keep it,
We have identified areas on site where the snow will be.
okay, because you got snow storage in the back here along 495, I just want
Yeah.
to make sure that you, just, okay, that's it.
John?
That's a state regulation on snow dumping, not a town regulation.
John, do you have anything?
So this has all been approved, stormwater?
Yes, it has.
Everything's brought up to?
Everything is done.
Yep. Okay. Well, that lot's been sitting there for a long time.
A lot of stuff on Kidder
Long
Road's
time.
been sitting there for a long time.
Been a long haul.
I can imagine. But it's not over yet, right?
You're encouraging.
All right, anything else, John?
No,
You're
I'm
good?
I'm
Okay, I think we're good.
Good.
Do we have a motion for,
Well, I guess this is to,
Just
the
redo it.
the motion is to issue a negative determination for, is it 11 Kidder? Is it
12.
12 Kidder? And it is a -3, Billy, which says the work described on the reference plan is within an area subject to protection under the Act, that's within 100 feet, and will remove, fill, dredge, or alter that area. No, it's not a -3. Do we know? I'm trying to look at the form. I want to get the right.
bear with us, we'll get there.
It's been a long haul, another,
Another
Three minutes.
ain't gonna kill you, eh?
it's been a hike.
We'll bring a Dave out of retirement for this, so.
No, you got to bring the conservation agent out of retirement. Okay, here we go. Negative determination. The work described, this is -3. The work described in the request is within the buffer zone, which is that section of the parking lot, as defined in the regulations, but will not alter an area subject to protection under the Act. That's what we were just talking about.
Yep.
Therefore, said work does not require the filing of a notice of intent. So that is the -3 that we are putting on this
Okay.
application.
So can we get a motion then?
I move that we issue a -3 determination for 12 Kidder.
We have a second?
I want that condition
that I
brought up on here.
What was the condition?
Snow storage.
Subject to the following conditions, that snow storage be maintained at a distance consistent with the state regulations.
Yeah.
I thought it was 75. You think it's 100? Okay, whatever the state regs say, so you may have to
Push it around.
push it around,
Yep.
right?
Okay, so that's the motion. Is there any, there's no one here for discussion from the audience. So Mark was seconding it, I think. I heard Mark, yeah. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Done.
Aye. And
Vivian,
opposed,
will you
none.
make sure we see the language on this vote, just because we've got the snow storage stuff on it?
Motion for a -3 with the condition that snow storage be maintained at a distance consistent with state regulations.
Fine,
Very
Because you
good,
did not itemize how many feet it's supposed to be.
yeah, that's good.
very good.
Okay.
Nice job. I think we're good. We will have paperwork for you in the office.
I heard.
Yeah, within a few days. Contact Colleen. We lost our agent
I know.
a few weeks ago.
I
so,
know.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
I was here when her husband left.
Okay.
Really?
Wow,
You
okay,
started out
yeah.
with Darren?
Oh,
And you-
God, he was fun. I liked him a
On the
lot.
same project?
What's that?
On the same project?
On this
On this
project?
project?
No, on other
Oh,
things that
okay.
we were doing.
You haven't
and-
waited a long time.
It seems like almost forever, but that's nothing we
You-
can do. COVID didn't help any of us.
You know
that's
what,
for
you know
sure.
what Darren does now?
Yes,
He's got a nice job down in Framingham.
he sure does. Talked to him a few times since he's been out there. He got a nice gig. Great kid too. Very, very nice.
Thank you very much.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much.
Thank
Have a good
you.
evening.
Have a good evening. Thank you very much. Okay, so that is the end, I believe, of the regulatory hearings. The last one, I'm told we should ignore, which says 23 7th Avenue expired permit. I have a note here. I assume Evan
all
made
I
the
heard.
note that
No
says
action.
it's ignore it, so we don't have any action. We can now talk about some of the other items on our agenda. The first thing is the discussion on the agent job posting. So Dave and I met with Paul Cohen and Evan Belansky and Jeannie, I'm not sure of her last name.
Parzielli,
Parzielli,
I think.
today, and we had a good open discussion about the position and the outcome of that. We're happy because we are now looking at having the job reposted as a full-time position. And Paul and Evan were supportive of that, and Jeannie was as well. It was a good discussion. I think we got some good back and forth ideas on how to interact with the conservation agent and the Conservation Commission. So that was good.
Carl,
Not fired.
are we gonna have any input on the person or persons who apply?
And they said we would be part of the interview process. Yeah, I'm not sure the details of how that will work, but at least one of us will have a chance to interview with the person. I think the other good thing is that we got it a little more in the open about how we should be interacting with the conservation agent, giving direction, both policy and some of the guidance, and also even some feedback on performance as well, which we'd not been asked that in the past, which I think would be helpful. So
Good.
It was good. It was a good discussion.
Yeah.
And I want to thank Dave for pinch hitting. He came in at the last minute when Chris wasn't able to join, so it was good. Anything you want to add on that, Dave?
No. Not on camera.
Land management, land management, warrant poll update. I will give you a brief update on that. I think we told you about the proposal. Dave, are we going to show, do we want to show the proposed layout? Share that? Is that your intention?
No, but I have it here. I think I can bring it up. Let me find it.
So we did get a proposed layout from Scott. Dave and I looked at two of them, and we think this one is the better one of the two. Those on?
Why didn't it come on this time?
Yeah, I'm wondering if they timed out, if they need to be powered on.
There's a remote near you.
Turn the remote and hit power.
No, not that one. It's a black one. Oh, sit still. I lied. Still don't know how to use it.
So what we can do is just look at this proposal, and in the meantime, we have still not heard anything back from the Land Conservation Trust on the CR, which I'm not terribly surprised at. I am planning to send a copy of this proposal to the Land Trust so that they're aware of what our plans are. I'll do that shortly. I have an email queued up, but I didn't want to do that before you guys get to see it. And I know John's cut the grass a couple of times. I'm ramping up to get some trail markers put in soon. Assuming DPW works through, have to work with DPW and Evan and not Katie now, but somehow we have to get this put in front of us to have an NOI on this property, so we still have all that work to do, but hopefully we'll get that taken care of in the next few weeks, and then they can start the work, which I don't expect that's a whole lot of work. I think it's a few days of work. I don't think it's weeks, but what do I know? So we'll see. There's some, the driveway's a bit. The driveway's more than the parking area, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, the parking area, we want to get it level and get some, what do you call them, the Cape Cod parking things, whatever you call them, put them in there. So, yeah, there's work to do. It's not trivial. It's definitely some work, but it's not like a big paving job or something like that, so.
They have to add some fill into that driveway
I
on the
don't,
sides?
I don't know if they'd need that. Maybe a little bit.
It's been all flagged and everything?
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
That's
it's
what I'm
been
trying
flagged,
to
yep.
find.
Did you get that on? Or no, didn't get it on?
No, I
No,
got you.
apparently it's
I don't want to
plugged
turn it
in.
on until I can find it, because otherwise you'll be looking at my cat.
We'll look at the cat. Okay. All right. Well, so that's it on Warren Poll. I will move ahead to a couple other things in the meantime, as Dave's looking. Russell Mill, there's two issues there. One is the parking and one is the new park area. So the parking, we are working with the soccer group and the mountain biking group. We did some clearing of the driveway behind the fire gate. It's just a first pass clearing, but it did show that clearing does make a big difference. A little bit, we need a bit more clearing to be done, to be able to get two cars to pass each other on that driveway safely. The parking area itself back there, you could park cars there right now. Wouldn't, not sure I'd put Dave's Porsche back there, but maybe something with some decent clearance could park back there. Over time, we can get it better and better, but certainly as an overflow area, it's probably usable for quite a few vehicles at this point in time. Then on the park area, so that parking area is needed for this Saturday morning. This is the first soccer clinic Saturday. That's the time that it's really busy. So hopefully we'll have the ability to overflow into there. I'm not sure it will completely solve the problem because the crowds can be pretty big, but it'll certainly help. The park area, which is the front new park area, which is abutting up to both the old property that got sold off and the mill, the old mill, that has been cleared out a lot. There's a new trail that got cut last weekend by one of the Eagle Scout projects. A lot of weeds have been taken out there. Phil told me that he expects that they'll do some kind of a dedication of this site in the next few weeks, probably by the end of this month or in October. Right now, it's called something like the Chelmsford Conservation Commission Nature Park, or something like that, and his comment was we should come up with something better than that, which, if we have any ideas, we'll see.
That's a little wordy.
It's a little wordy.
Less wording.
Less wordy. So give it, take it home, do some homework, come up with a better idea for a name. But so we'll see what happens there. It is looking pretty good. There's still a lot of weeds in the mid area. The native planting that is planned hasn't really happened yet, and maybe get some stuff started right, this fall, but more likely next year, we'll see a lot more action there.
Is there still a plan for a canoe launch and that?
There's a hope to do that, a plan. I don't know that I'd call it a plan yet. I know one of the Eagle Scouts planned to do that last year, but it never happened, so I don't know.
That's only that one.
Okay,
It's not these.
yay.
Well, if you can do that one, it's fine. Oh,
What
no,
happened?
I see it coming on now. So, that is all I have on Russell Mill. There's the plan for Boston Road. Dave, you want to talk through that?
Yeah, if I can orient you, the sharp angle
Boston Road's out here.
out to the right.
This is the driveway right here. And this is the Poles property. The house is up here. Putnam Brook is here. The barn is over there.
And the,
And this would be the parking here.
okay, the proposal is to put 15 spots there, 2 of which are handicapped, obvious.
Additional spots or 15 combined?
15 including 2, 15 total.
Okay.
And if you can see it there, there is room to expand the parking to the left, to the southwest. What we wanted to do was to have one trail out from the parking that goes on to Warren Pole, and there'll be a gate down there. You can see where the edge of wetlands is. It's very close to the driveway. Scott has said he can make the driveway 17 feet wide, which is a little narrow. But there is a turnoff spot there from where it says on there, maybe you can point to it, where it says
Right here?
to Boston Road and then down to the corner. That's going to be much wider than 17. That's going to be where the cars can pull off in case there's 2 cars on the driveway, one going in each direction. What we need now is to have them locate on this where the signage is going to go, and the activity that's going to happen, and where the silt fences are going to, the silt fences and tubes are going to go. That shed there, can you guys see that? There's a shed there, that comes down.
And that's going away.
So this will be this has to be completed by DPW, showing us what activity they're going to do on this site, because everything they're going to do has to be on the plan, because that's the attachment to the notice of intent. No asphalt, it's going to all be just
Pervious.
crushed stone. They're going to have to do some work out at Boston Road, which we don't know yet what they're going to do. Remember, we also want to put
He's got the remote.
Oh, I thought I turned it on, but I guess I didn't. Thank you, sir.
Johnny on the spot. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, actually, I can stand up to it now.
Good.
There we go.
Thank you.
What service? Thank you very much.
This is Boston Road out here. We're gonna need some signage for traffic direction. We need to talk about what kind of a fence we're gonna have for the Brown House. Remember, there's a side entrance to the Brown House that
Yeah.
kind of steps into the driveway. We want to put some kind of a fencing there so that people don't step out into the driveway. Coming down here, the existing gate now is somewhere in here.
It's right where your finger is. Yeah.
And we're gonna take that down, and we're gonna use that over here where they go onto the site. This,
Wow. Oh, it's your
Is it
computer.
something you said?
Just touch the mouse on the computer. Touch the pad. There you go. Move the up-down arrow or something. There you go. Oh, you locked it.
There
You
we
locked
there
it.
you go.
Oh, but you gotta sign in, Dave. You gotta sign
Oh. I'm not gonna tell them what my password is.
I wouldn't trust him.
It's a shady
Tonight, will
looking.
you call your wife and bring her over here? So,
That's the same one I got, Dave, yeah.
I did it wrong.
Password.
There we go. Okay, I better talk faster so it doesn't go out. This is the area that's gonna be wider than the driveway, this area in here, so that two cars can pass. That's the only way we can do it. As I said, here's the wetland flags, so we're gonna have to be very right here. So when we have this hearing on ourselves, we're gonna have to move the 25-foot no disturbance and that kind of stuff. This is the barn over here. We're gonna have to put another gate right here so people don't use the Pole's driveway.
Yeah.
So we're gonna probably have to acquire one gate. Carl's getting some kiosks built with Boy Scouts. The kiosks are probably gonna go here, one's gonna go here, with instructions about where the, a history of the, small history of the farm and where the trails start. There are gonna be two trails down here, one to the left and one upland. If you guys have been out there, there's an upland area, so we wanna have two trails. So right now, everything is back on DPW's desk in order to get the final paperwork. DPW will present the notice of intent to us, and we're somewhat conflicted, but that's okay. So, back to you, Carl.
Any questions? Might make sense for us to go out there at some point and do a visual, but,
Is the power hooked up yet?
sorry?
Is the electricity hooked up yet?
No. Not in the last 2 weeks, or unless it's happened in the last week or two. But I'm sure it's not.
Is there gonna be lighting back there? I'm just curious.
There's not a plan to right now. I've thought about, we could have closed circuit TV, or we could have a trip light for motion or something, but I'm not sure I want to do that unless we start to see problems. I'd wait until we see problems. Any other comments, questions?
No, it looks good, looks good.
All right,
That fill they're using to make where the handicap spots are, there's some cuts there, isn't there?
there might be, but it's a
that
pretty
gonna be-
good sized space there.
Is that gonna be
It's
used
pretty
for any of the
good
fills
size.
on the driveway, or is it?
There's actually there's a big pile right on that corner of,
Okay, all
of
right.
fill, or,
Yeah.
it's actually looks pretty good,
Yep.
I think, so.
Does that feel real rocky when you mowed it?
Oh,
The
Yeah.
field is, yeah.
rocky,
That's what Polly said, she was real concerned about that.
it's rocks everywhere.
Because the family
Are
did
the
it by hand.
beavers-
Yeah.
Still building that dam?
I gotta go out there. I might go out tomorrow and check it out, the beavers. So.
Because they're gonna back up everything.
Okay. Cranberry Bog entrance. Dave, I know you had sent a note to DPW? Is it
DPW's
Catherine?
been asked to, if you've recently been out there, that the asphalt drops off from Elm Street, drops off pretty severely into the parking lot. And a few cars are starting to bottom out, and so I've asked DPW to they have to do that every couple of
Didn't they
years.
bring an apron in there and hot top?
Well, yeah, but it's at the end of the apron,
end of
that's
the apron.
falling off.
Yeah, that's the problem. So you just push the problem in.
Yeah, that's right now, yeah.
Which is, in a way, the other one I have on here is Lime Quarry with a similar kind of a
Yeah.
problem. When you go in and out of Lime Quarry, it's brutal. It's awful.
It's that one spot that always,
It is
a
really,
mess,
really
right?
bad. And, but I also saw some discussion on Facebook about the other side of that entrance that was blocked off years ago. You know how it used to be a two-entrance parking lot? But there were comments and, I'd say, complaints about the fact that that looks like an entrance, and then you pull off and it's not an entrance. I think if we could get them to make it a little more obvious that it's not an entrance, that might help, so we'll
move the
put a
boulders
request in.
closer to Littleton Road.
Yeah, put them out right in the middle of the road, maybe.
That's the first I've heard that story.
Yeah, I hadn't heard it,
I don't mean it's a story. That's the
Yeah,
first
yeah.
time I've heard
Yeah.
that complaint.
And
Okay.
I gotta think, once you've been there a couple of times, you wouldn't have that issue. The other thing is the Crooked Spring Bridge that was installed. I did ask Phil about if he had any plans to do some kind of lead-in for that, and nothing specific, but I'll push him some more. We'll one way or another, we'll try to get something done there to make that a safer lead-in. Barn Pole, Russell Mill, we talked about Russell Mill. I think that's all I had for conservation sites. Dave, do you want to talk about Willis Drive now?
Sure. Well, I guess there's probably three subjects. First of all, just let me, and I'll send them, let me just show you. This is as a result of, just for your information, you don't have to go over it, but there is a schedule now of all of the land. There's approximately 10 acres of land around Freeman Lake that is now conservation land, and these are the lot numbers. That's just for reference purposes. What's interesting is there's a couple of spots that are about there's two lots that combined together are 6 acres. And we might, if we have the mind of it, we might work with some people to see if we can, I don't know how well this is going to come up. I don't know how well you
That
can.
looks pretty good.
Everything that's marked in yellow now is conservation land. And I don't know if you can see no, I can't, but where we might be able to do something is over here. There's a couple of big pieces of land right here. This is the 6-odd acres. There's a couple of paper streets here. But if ever there was a desire to create a small park, it's more work, but that would be a location for it. The rest of it are pockets. There's a lot of pieces that are individually owned, privately owned. We've accumulated some here along Shore Road. And then there's some pieces along here along Willis. Here's 6th Avenue right here. And this is the end of 6th Ave, which Ms. Farrell has been talking about and which I purposely asked this lady about this earlier this evening. And there's a few slivers up here. And I'm going to bring, while we're up here, I want to bring this one up down here. This is it. This is 175 and maybe 177. I'm not sure. There's two numbers. There are houses on this side of Willis, and they've appropriated this land, which is conservation land, as their own. This is the there's a pumping station right here, sewer pumping station.
Yep.
And this is a problem, and let me put a picture up. I did send it all to you tonight, but because I wasn't sure whether this would work. I drove by there.
I drove by this afternoon.
So
It's
this map's
pretty-
available. It's a pretty busy site. Let me rotate this if I can. I don't know how well you can see this. There's a nice piece of land on the other side of, on the Freeman Lake side of Willis, which somebody, and obviously we don't know who did it. On this side is, as I said, is 175. On the other side, someone has constructed a new pier this year. You can see pieces of it sticking up. There's a fire pit there with chaise lounges and chairs. There's a picnic bench, and there's a couple. It may very well be that it's not just one person.
Right.
It's two or more people.
There's stacks of firewood.
So what I would like to do, and we can the chair can ask Evan. I think, this is an enforcement issue. I think we should send letters to abutters, not knowing who they are specifically, but pick maybe half a dozen abutters. Just send a letter and explain to them that this is conservation land for the benefit of all of the residents, not just the people on Willis Drive.
Right.
And
Should we start by putting up, posting notes on the trees or something?
Didn't we do that before?
That was at the other side, other
I
parcel.
think up here too.
yeah, you can do that. I think I'd rather, yes, I'd rather send them the letter first,
Okay.
and then put them up. We only put one conservation sign up at the end of 6th Ave. Ms. Farrell is suggesting that we put, these are round conservation decals. Ms. Farrell is suggesting that we put them all over the place. I don't like putting up a lot of signs if I don't have to. What we put up there, and I think are still there, we put up one sign, and we posted the land use regulations, which are unique to the end of 6th Ave. It doesn't apply to the whole of Freeman Lake.
Right.
Billy's been out there, I've been out there, we talked to that lady this evening. I'm not hearing a lot of complaints about that site except from one source.
I was there this afternoon. The guy across the street was cutting his lawn. He cuts the lawn over there, which was freshly mowed. There wasn't a piece of paper on the ground. There was the usual couple canoes and there's a flat bottom boat.
This site?
No, not that
Talking
side.
about the 6th Ave.
Sixth
yeah,
Avenue.
Yeah, we got two sites
I don't
going.
see an issue with it. I think if there was an issue, the people right in those two houses on the end of 6th would be the ones complaining most, and they seem to be the ones taking care of it.
I think that's right. I mean,
Yeah, they-
when we first did it, they asked, or they volunteered.
Yeah, and they've been cutting it regularly,
I
because
mean,
I go down
if-
there almost every day.
Over time, there's been two issues. One is that the site was messy. It was messy a couple of times when the kids pulled the raft out of the water because they had to refurbish the raft. They rebuilt the raft and then they put it back in the water. It's in the water now. I understand from somebody that they pull the raft out and store it on the ground in the wintertime. We had asked that they store it roped to the edge. We'll have to take a look at it this fall. I also understand that most people move their boats behind the shrubbery to the right when you're standing at the end of 6th Ave looking out into Freeman Lake. There's a stand of bushes there on the right-hand side. And that a lot of the boats have actually physically been moved behind those. Now, in the wintertime, obviously, the leaves are off the bushes, so I don't know how much protection that gives. There is one canoe that's there that somebody takes out almost every day and does some fishing. He lives down by you, Billy, I think.
Yep.
He may live in your shed. I mean, and he rides his bike up to Freeman Lake every day and he fishes. And he left his canoe out all winter last year.
Yes, he did, yep.
So,
Yeah.
Now, the thing that I think, since what we have to remember is conservation land is for the benefit of everyone. And we put in place special use regulations for that site so that people could have access to Freeman Lake, which is an unusual access. People are allowed to use their boats, to launch their boats from that site during daylight hours, and can launch only boats that are consistent with the boats that are allowed, which I think are only, no motorized boats, is that correct?
Right.
On Freeman Lake. And the rest of our restrictions apply as well. No fires without a fire permit. We do allow people to cross our land to get into the lake. Now, I don't know that anybody's swimming, but, so I think our use regulations work. So, 175 Willis, I think we should ask Evan Belansky to send, I'll draft a letter, show it to you guys, and we'll get him to send it out, as opposed to the commission.
Dave, has somebody complained about not being able to use it because somebody claimed it?
No, No. The complaint was, I know it's conservation land, it's not being used as conservation land. That was the complaint.
Are we talking about 175?
Yeah.
I'm back to 175.
Okay.
That was the complaint. Somebody
So
said.
do we not want the fire pit and the picnic table there, or is that an issue, or is it an issue only if somebody doesn't let somebody else use it that lives up there?
Well, certainly it would be the latter. Whether we want to create another pocket like we did at the end of Sixth Ave with special use regulations, maybe they're the same. But now we've got to manage 2 sites instead of 1. Yeah, we can do that. If you guys think it would be a good use, if you haven't been out there, you certainly should go out. It is highly utilized by
Yeah.
1 or more residents.
Yep.
I'd have an issue if somebody said, hey, I don't want, you can't come over
Right,
here.
exactly.
That's
Yeah.
what my issue
That's
would
what
be. I think it looks pretty nice. I was down there today, too.
It's neat. I mean,
Nice
it looks
and
like a
neat.
nice
Yeah,
campground.
I would probably do it if I lived there, too. But my issue would be if somebody said, hey, you can't come here,
Right.
or made someone else feel uncomfortable
We
about
don't
using.
know that anybody's been challenged that
Right,
way.
so that'd be my only.
I do think, though, it certainly behooves us to remind these people that this is conservation land for the benefit of everyone in the town.
Right, and I'd stress that
Maybe
point.
just use that as a first
Right.
salvo.
Right. It looks like they're taking care of it.
Yeah, it's just too messy. There's too much. Yeah, well,
It's getting a little carried away. It's,
there is some old stuff that I don't know that people are using.
but, there's one house on that side further down, which is an old,
Nobody's in that house,
yeah,
is
I
it?
think
That's
it's
empty.
close to empty or whatever.
That's Mark's
I looked
second
at the
right
map,
there.
at the plot, and we own, the conservation land goes within like 10 feet of that house. So from there to the pump house is conservation. It's a lot of land that's conservation.
Right.
And
So, I mean, one of the things
mostly biased to
we
the
might
other
think
end.
about
Brian
is
Donovan.
wherever we have land that abuts the lake itself, do we want to treat it the way we treat that pit parcel land at the end of Sixth Ave? With
Yeah.
special, that allow people access to Freeman Lake over conservation land. I don't have a problem with that.
I don't either.
It
The
is
only
town
thing,
land.
yeah, the only thing is we're not looking for parking or anything like that. So
Well,
it
no,
becomes
I
very
mean-
like local.
Well, it has to be local. We can't encourage, but here again, if it's conservation land for the town, then someone from
Right.
South Chelmsford should be able to drive up there,
Sure.
park their car on
Brentwood
Willis
Road.
Drive and use it. Now, that's only a problem if it happens. It's not a problem if it doesn't happen.
Right.
We ought to keep working this one.
I think, like you say, a letter's probably the best thing, just to let people know that it's for everybody.
What I might do is include this new map, since we've acquired,
Yeah.
and maybe do I don't know what it costs, but do a general mailing for
All the butters.
all the abutters of Freeman Lake. Well, at least on the Shore Drive, Willis Road's part. Not so much.
Okay, so Dave, you're gonna take an action to draft a letter, send it
Draft a letter and
to
show
Evan.
it to you and Chris.
Yeah, have us look at it, and then we'll send it to Evan. Okay. Anything else?
I just would mention that the citizens who want to clean up the algae on Freeman Lake, it's not algae. It's lily pads.
Yeah,
Yeah,
And algae is what's over at Hart Pond.
that's definitely algae.
And that's red and it's ugly crap. But the town is working with a number of the residents to propose some money, and I'm hearing a number like 75 plus to start.
Yeah. It ratchets down over time, but
Yeah, the
it costs
first-
a lot
the
up
first-
yeah,
front.
for an initial.
Yeah, once you get it into control, you pay less. Okay, so, yeah, it's an herbicide.
Selective?
I guess, and it's.
I don't know what it
Yeah,
is.
we have information that we'll send, so that was the topic we had earlier with the lady who asked, and Paul just sent us this evening some stuff which we can share with you guys. That includes both the report from, I think it was 2018, that they did a plan, and I guess it got, I don't know, maybe it didn't happen. I'm not sure why it didn't happen back then, but,
What, for Freeman Lake?
yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that's what he sent us, and
I haven't seen
July
it.
2018 to Mike McCall. and it was a survey of the submersed aquatic vegetation. So that's a report, and then there's also a detail about lake guide, lake management. So we'll forward it to you, you can take a look at it. I think what Paul's asking for is just our review and, I guess, blessing of this going forward, as we've got responsibility for water quality, and, but this would be part of the article. Okay?
Good.
Okay, last thing here, we have a couple of things left. So I had it down that we would talk about Freeman Lake. We did that, we covered that. We have to, there's no agent's report,
Stuff for you guys to sign.
so we have to sign some things,
Dave's got
and
the other form
we have to
over there.
approve the minutes. Have you been able to look at the minutes from August 17th, I think it was? Does that sound right, Vivian?
Yeah, Dave has some comments, and I have a revised document that shows all those comments in it. And he, and I added a note to add his, job description.
Okay.
I need a pen.
Oh, right, I did see that.
You got to print it in signatures or just signatures?
I have no idea.
Yes,
I think
What?
usually
print
you
it
guys-
and sign
And
it,
sign.
Okay.
Okay.
because we can't read your writing.
Important people write like that.
I know, the more important you get, the harder it is to read your,
So do we have anything else, or we
Not gonna be enough room if I
can
do
sign
this.
these, but can we motion to adjourn?
Do you want to do a motion to approve the minutes?
Might be enough room there.
Oh, that's right, we were doing that, okay,
I'll do it closer.
thank you.
Yeah, no
Thank you
problem.
for being here.
Yeah.
Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes?
we,
Or-
I move we, oh, you know, what numbers are they, Vivian?
Just August 17th.
Just-
I
that's the
move
only
we
ones.
approve the minutes of August 17th.
As changed per your
As
comments.
amended, yep.
Any second? Do I hear a second?
Second.
I heard Mark's voice first, so. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None? Unanimous. Thank you. Motion to
Adjourn.
Boy, I wish we had a conservation agent.
Motion to adjourn.
Keep us
from
going.
Mark, do I hear a second?
Is that all of them?
Approved. Second. All approved, motion. We are adjourned.